What do you think? Is it possible that Google will help you to send traffic to your website? That's the topic that we're going to talk about today. By the end of this Tea Time show, I'm going to show you, yes, of course, the answer to that question, but also a way to do it. How? All right. My name is Ingrid, and this is Tea Time. Welcome. We're going to talk about Google traffic, which basically means it's also known as SEO, Sales Engine Optimization. In order to understand what that means, we need to dive in Google a little bit in the history to see what happened there, to understand how Google works, so that we can work the system, not going against it, but work with the system to get your article, and I'll show you what type of article, get up high in the rankings of Google, so that Google sends traffic towards your funnel, towards your website. All right. The reason why we're doing this on Zoom is because I want to share my screen, and then you can actually see my screen. All right. What are we going to talk about? The history of Google. The very first sales search engines that were out there were things like Yahoo, Excite, and Ask Jeeves, right? Then in 1996 came something called BackRub. And they did something different. They did the type of ranking, other than Yahoo and Excite and Ask Jeeves. They did a kind of ranking based on the number of links that were going towards a page. So you had one certain page, and this website would refer to that page, and this website would refer to that page, and this and this and this and this. Those are called backlinks. So this article must be pretty important if it's on multiple websites, right? So, okay, well, if this is pretty important, then let's put a higher ranking to that. That's how the algorithm worked, also based on the keywords on that particular page that were used. So if there were certain keywords and you got this web page, then that was for those keywords, it was high in the ranking, right? That's how it originally started. So that's how the algorithm worked. But what happened then is that everyone started to spam links. Okay, they had a website, they had a particular link that they wanted to be high in the ranking, so they needed to make sure it was on all over the place, on all types of websites. So they were spamming those links everywhere and putting them everywhere. So that's not what Google wants. Not at all. Not at all. They, of course, want a better experience for the user, right? The longer the user stays on a website, the more advertisement it will be shown, the more it's likely to buy something. And the advertisement is where Google gets his revenue from, right? So that's from one side. You know, the users want a better experience, but they're getting spammed everywhere. And on the other side, the marketers who wanted to be number one. That's the battle. And being number one is not in itself not that hard. You know, you need to find out what the ranking is of a page that you think is good out there, and you need to be ranked one more. You know, if they have a website with about 100 backlinks or something, you need a website that needs in the same keyword range that has 101 backlinks, right? And then according to that algorithm at that time, 1996, you would be number one. That's the battle. But, you know, again, for the user experience, that was not a good thing. So then Google said, we're going to change that. We're going to change that. So they were now going to take a look at the quality of a page. Two things, trouwens, page optimization and the quality of a page. So if a page is has a good quality in terms of having links on there that come from a place where the ranking is already higher than you, right? You have that page with something that you want to bring under the attention of your dream customer. One of the things that you could do back then, after the spamming phase, is that you get your link to your website, you get them on a website page which already has a higher ranking. So in terms of Google, they are considered more valuable. So if your link is on there, you must be more valuable too. So your page goes up in the rankings, right? That's page ranking. So there was all of a sudden, there was a whole new industry. As soon as the algorithm was changed towards page ranking, all of a sudden a new industry emerged with a company that was saying, well, if you give me money, I will put your link on that higher ranking website or a higher ranking article pages, right? It's called scraping. So they make sure that you are going to be on that higher ranking so that your ranking goes up also. Like I said, the second thing that Google was looking at was on-page optimization. And that means that your content must be good, must be structured. But what happened then is, okay, your content on your website and you got that higher ranking website, right? Everyone was going to look at, okay, what's that higher ranking guy doing? Okay, copy paste, use a few words, change a few words, make it similar words, but use the basic structure and the basic content. And all of a sudden you had content everywhere that looked the same. Well, that is not exactly what Google wanted either, right? Because that's not a better search experience. That's what Google wants. So what happened then is a third change in algorithm that they made. And then you got something called the Google Zoo animals, yes. All of a sudden they started, you had Google Panda, Penguin and Hummingbird. And they all try to change that whatever was going on, all of a sudden change that. So the thing is, if you copy paste content and you change only a few words and all of a sudden it was yours, right? But everywhere, if you look at everywhere, everything is the same. That's called a content farm. And Panda was one of the algorithms of Google. Panda killed those content farms and the scraper sites. You know, all of that copy paste, higher ranking articles stuff. Penguin. Remember that I said there were companies that said, well, if you give me money, I will put you on a higher ranking website so that your ranking of your page, which leads to your funnel, the higher ranking of your page could go up. Penguin is the change in the algorithm that punish the people who give the money, you know, the link buyers, punish them by the way of not giving them a higher ranking, even though they paid the money to be placed on those higher ranking sites. So Penguin killed that. And then you got Hummingbird, and Hummingbird is, I think it's still active in some way. It's not looking at exactly the words that you're searching for, but looking at the intent behind it. What are you really looking for? So for instance, if you're looking for SEO tools, to give an example, right? Are you looking for SEO tools, or are you looking for free SEO tools? Are you looking for SEO tools for beginners? Something like that. You know, you're looking, they're going away deeper. And Hummingbird algorithm keeps that in mind. which is pretty important and pretty good. Then all of a sudden, there was something called the mobile market. And the mobile searches, you know, internet on your phone, all of a sudden the mobile searches were bigger than the desktop searches at one point, 2015. That's why it's called Mobilegeddon. Where do they get the name, right? And Mobilegeddon meant that the mobile searches were higher in rank than the desktop searches. So they had something in 2017 called Fred, and Fred is still an algorithm that is working up to date. Fred penalizes, you know, penalizes means lower in ranking, right? It doesn't show websites who prioritize monetization over user experience. So low engaged websites, websites who are really thin in content, who are really thick in conversion, who have pop-ups everywhere, who have aggressive marketing advertising. Those websites are not promoted by putting them higher, even though it's on mobile, by giving them not higher ranking, but lower ranking, because it doesn't better the user experience. That's what Google are after. Why? Again, better user experience means they're going to stay longer on a particular website. They're going to show more ads, and that's where they get their money from. So that is a little bit of the history of Google, how the algorithms work on Google. So what does that mean? What does that mean? If you talk about your Dream 100, which we talked about a lot in the Tea Time series, Dream 100, what does that mean? Dream 100 on Google, how do you find them? Well, we know that the people tend to be together if they have a similar thing, like bikers tend to go to bikers websites, right? And people who love Nike don't buy at Amazon. I don't know, they buy at Nike shop, stuff like that, you know. We talked about before about search-based congregations, search-based communities, and what's the other one? Interest-based communities, right? So this is search-based communities. What does that mean? I will share my screen in a moment. You can see it. It means that as soon as you type in, let me share. Oh gosh, I have way too many screens open. I hope it's this one. There you go. Okay. I hope you can see it. All right. So I'm in Google and I use SEO tools as option. You know, you see, if you type here SEO tools, you see a lot of things, right? I'm going to explain all of this, and and this and this and this and this and also this. All right. But what we're looking for are our Dream 100. So what you see here are, you type in, I want to know something about SEO tools, but you're not the only one who's searching for SEO tools, right? And that's why that's this list. These are all options that other people have used in the past to search for the same keywords that you are looking for. So that means there is a whole audience out there looking for these particular keywords. So that is where you need to find out where your Dream 100 people are. And how do you do that? Well, one of the things that you can do is type in your keywords, and behind that, type in the word blog. Because if you start looking, then you got all the blogs that are written with these type of keywords. So let's go here, rockcontent.com. SEO keyword tools to boost your blog's results. This one, the growthmarketingpro.com, for powerful SEO tools for bloggers, you know. And this is not only for bloggers. This could be, you know, Blog Tyrant, the best SEO tools to explode your blog traffic. Remember, we were talking about a website, could also be a blog page, could also be a particular different page, could be the landing page of your funnel. But these are places, honkyhead.com, .blog. These even say, okay, I have a blog about SEO tools. So Honkyhead page is one place where your dream customer comes together, right? And where your dream 100 person is the owner of Honkyhead. So there are two things that you need to find out. Who are behind this website and what keywords are they using? So the Dream 100 bloggers and the Dream 100 keywords. Those are the things you need to find out. So typing the word blog behind your keywords here in Google is a way to reach those Dream 100 bloggers. So now you have a list of those keywords and keyword phrases. You can also find the long tail keywords. And this is where the Google suggestions come. So we typed on SEO tools, right? Let me go back to this one. We typed on SEO tools. But there are SEO tools that is a very big spectrum. So what are other things that you could look at? Well, SEO free, SEO plagiarism. I know what it is, but I can't pronounce it. SEO list, SEO meaning, SEO tools for YouTube, sender website, digital marketing, and many more. Many more. So these are called long tail keywords. Keywords are usually one or two words, and these long tails, but even in long tail could also be how to use SEO, how to use SEO tools, you know, how to use SEO tools in WordPress, how to use small SEO tools, how to use webmaster tools for SEO. So these are all different kinds of ways to search. So you got the keywords, search tools, you got the long tail keywords, how to, or SEO tools free, SEO tools why do I need to choose that word? Plagiarism. So these are things that you need to know. The keywords, keyword phrases, and of course, like I said, SEO tools. The Dream 100 persons behind all these websites. Okay. So take this one out again. These are the keywords. You type them in. You got the keyword suggestions over here. You also have all the bottom here, related searches. These are also keyword suggestions that you could use. And one, I'm thinking about how do you publish? You know, what is your publish strategy? What content do you need to write to be high in the ranking of Google so that Google sends traffic towards your website? Well, one of the things are things that you like this. 15 free SEO tools, or 18 best SEO tools, or 21 SEO tools. I took one, 29 of the best SEO tools. Because what we would like to do is make a linkable asset, which means that people are going to put links on their website towards your page. Remember that one? Towards your page, and your page is so good that Google ranks it all higher already, and you're getting traffic from all those websites. And so what we want to make is a linkable asset, a list of Let me give you an example. I searched one this morning. 27 simple and free SEO tools to instantly improve your marketing, updated to 2021. This is a linkable asset. If you look at it, it's full of links. Beside that, it is beside the fact that it's full of links, it could also be 25 tips to have the best ketogenic body there is. Could also be like that, right? What it means is this is a website with a lot of links on there. You know, it's a lot of information, and it's good information. These are all tools, and all valuable tools. So people are, when they come to this website, they're going to check that out. And they're going to check that out and check that out and check that out and stay on this page longer and longer and longer and longer. And this is exactly what Google wants. They want you to stay on a page like this with a lot of valuable assets. They even have a, you know, like a book. They have a, good Lord, look at that. Right? So this is what Google wants. They want you to stay on that website, check out all those links, check out what's going on. This is called a linkable asset. It's an asset, definitely, right? It is very valuable here. What is saying here? A lot of about 27 tools that you could use for your website to improve the SEO. So this is what Google likes, and it's called a linkable asset, an asset that is so valuable that everyone would want to link towards it. Now, this one is already made by someone else, of course. So how do you, what can you do with this? Why am I saying this? Well, we're going to, this, by the way, it's a linkable asset is called the Letterman technique from David Letterman, the talk show host. I have no idea why, but this is called Letterman. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you have in your niche, in your field, in your keywords and your dream 100 person, if you find a list like this, you know that Google likes this, you know, because people stay longer on it, right? So you know that this is a very good and valuable website. So what you need to do then, of course, first find this type of website with the keywords that are important to you. Then you're going to model it. Don't copy paste, model. And then you're going to write a web page that's even more valuable than this one. How do you do that? You make it longer. You make it more up to date, right? This was 2021. Well, let's make one for 2022 then. And don't do 27 tips, make it 50, if that's possible, right? Make it better designed, you know, maybe this could be done differently or a little bit more. These already have pictures, which is good. Do they have pictures here at the end? Are there even here even more further resources? They all have a picture, but you know, maybe a results picture would be something nice to see. You know, how do I know that these tools are still working? So make it better visually, better designed, and make it more thorough. Not just a link and an explanation, but to say a little bit more like this. Maybe you can say a little bit more about more than just it, than what is just saying here. So longer, more up to date, better designed, and more thorough. If you can improve all those three and use the dream customer keywords, use those long tail keywords, because that's what Google likes. Then you got a longer post, and it's everything that Google would reward you for. Okay, so that's called the skyscraper technique. You look at the skyscraper, you model it, you change it, you make it better, and then you got a bigger skyscraper. But having a skyscraper does not mean that a skyscraper article like this does not mean that you're automatically going to get traffic towards it. At least Google will reward you for all those things, but you need to drive traffic towards that also. So how do you do that then, right? Well, one of the things that you can do is to say, okay, well, if this is such a high ranking article in my niche with the keywords that I'm using, like SEO tools, how do they do that? Where do they get their leads from? And when you start asking those type of questions, I mean, they are in a niche, right? They have interests, they have links from other articles towards their website. Well, there's several ways you can ask them. Yeah, just send an email. Say, I'm skipping a part. Let me put it this way: you got this type of website, and you're looking. You got your own skyscraper, who's bigger, who's better, right? How do these people from the original the original Letterman post, the original linking asset, where do they get their leads from? Where do they get their traffic from? Well, there are tools for that. They're called scraping tools. And one of the two of those tools was called RF and MOS. Now, I'm not into scraping, but one of the things that these people show you is who is behind it, who is linking towards your competitors' skyscraper articles. So, like you want their articles to point to you, they want their article also to be pointed at. So who are these links? Because what you want is the contact names of these people, right? So these are the models, skyscraper, this is you, this is the model. You want those contacts to point to you, right? So once you have identified who these people are, and that you can do with RF and with MOS, those are two tools for that, you're going to email them. Just ask them. Ask them. And you're going to do the same, you know, we just took one page like this, but like this, you know, we just took one page, but there are more, right? You could also do that for this one, or you could also do that for this one. The process is the same. I'm just explaining the process right now. So you're just going to ask them. You're just going to ask them, okay, well, listen, I saw that you have a link towards this page. Well, I got a page who's similar like this, who has 50 SEO tools available, you know, and it's better designed, like as all those 4 things. It's a little bit longer, it's better designed. It is more up to date. This is 2021, but I got one version that is going to be for 2022. Something like that, and it's even better and better written and more thorough. Would you like to link to that one? And then there you have a chance that those linkers are not only going to link to this site, but also to yours, which means that you are going to get more links from a higher ranked person, and you are going to get up again in the ranking. So that is a way to do it, right? How do you do that with your Dream 100? Well, if your Dream 100 is using a blog, for instance, you can email them. Listen, I have some great ideas that I want to share with you. I have 15 simple and free SEO tools. Would you mind if I can share that with your audience? You need to ask them. You definitely need to ask them. And include, of course, your article, your skyscraper article, right? There are other you could also, what else can you do? You know, all those people, remember? So this 27 simple and free SEO tools website, you got your skyscraper. you're going to write them, and let's say that this person is a blogger, has an email newsletter. You can write them, say, could you please promote this? You could also ask if you can buy solo ads towards their list, right? Or you could also, if in case this is a website with banner advertisement, then you could say, okay, well, how much does it cost to have my skyscraper 50 SEO tools article to be on your banner? How do I get a banner on your website? Or if they're using AdSense, you can put their site on your list in the Google Display Network, you know. Or if it's another article, could they add a link towards your website? It's all about, you know, talking to the right people and knowing how, and knowing where you need to be. Because what you can see in this page, for instance, to take this as an example, right? Let's say this is yours, this is your URL buffer. This is the skyscraper article that you wrote that you want higher in Google. Well, as you can see, you know, despite the fact that it all leads to other, oh gosh, that was not the intention, sorry, that it leads to other websites, this one and this one, you also see try Buffer for free. You also see brought to you by Buffer. And you see at the end, you know, did you find this article helpful? You might also like our own new all you need social media toolkit. Get started for free, which means you start for free, but later on you can get money. Do you see where the funnel now comes, right? So you start for free, you give massive, massive, massive value in this article. This article is going to skyrocket in Google. It's going to get high ranking. Traffic is going to go through it for everyone who searches on the keywords of this article. And then you say, hey, listen, if you like this, I have more for you. And this is where they enter your website and your funnel. And then I would not personally do it this way, but it doesn't matter. Now, as soon as they leave their address, email and address somewhere, then they're on your list. And that was the goal for you, right? The earned YouTube, Google earned, you want them, the email address on Google owned, not Google owned, list owned. The email addresses on your list so that you can email them directly with your offers and your value. So that is how you can fill your funnels with what's going on using SEO techniques like skyscraper, like scraping itself, you know, all the things that we talked about in the past. What is it? 35 minutes. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Where do I get all this wisdom from? One more time. Oh, you can't see this. I need to stop my sharing. There you go. Ah, you can't see it. You can't see it. There you go. Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson. If you want a copy of the book, let me know. And I'll drop a link where you can get it, an affiliate link. All right. Thank you for watching this time. See you in the next show, and I hope implement, guys. Implement. All right. See you later. Bye.